free diving as well. I don't know if I'll ever have the courage to dive. So, good luck to you, 3913. So, there you go. That's our question for today. Just tell us if you know how to swim and when did you learn. You can send us your answers, of course, in both Korean and English to sharp 1013 for 51 per message. Now, remember, if you're on the go and you would want to listen to us, if you don't want to miss us, we have an app as well. You can search the TBS EFM app on Google Play or Apple Store. Now, we'll have more talks about swimming, this time for kids with GEM for Kids Culture Club in a moment. All right, welcome to Kids Culture Club, where we concentrate all of our talks about kids because we have a mom. No, not a mom. We have two moms here in the studio, me and Jem. Good afternoon, Jem.
Hello and good afternoon, everybody.
And now I'm afraid to ask you the question of the day because it feels like I'm the only one who don't know how to swim. Paul says they were taught swimming way back when they were in elementary school. Niall said she can. How about you? Do you know how to swim and when did you learn how to?
Right. So I think you're still alone because I can also swim.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
피디님, can you swim?
Somebody's got to be on her
can
side.
you swim? No, okay.
Okay.
There are two of us. she just said X, so she can't swim.
She can't swim. I can swim because, and I'll mention it later, a lot of times in the U.S., children are taught how to swim from when they are babies, even.
Oh, yeah, I've seen all of those videos.
All those videos.
Yeah.
And I heard from my mother that it happened to me. Of course, I don't remember.
They just threw you into the water?
They just throw you into the water and they're like, good luck. This is a survival tactic. And
oh, my God.
And as you know, like in Hawaii as well, you have to know how to swim, right?
Yeah.
That's an absolutely necessary point.
Hello, I'm from the Philippines.
I
You
know.
actually
So I'm
have to
also
know how to
surprised.
swim.
I'm so surprised. I really thought you were going to have the same answer as me. Like it's instinct. They throw you in.
It's a tropical country. You know, you have beaches every 20 minutes wherever you go, whichever direction you go. But then again,
Right.
I don't know. I guess I took it for granted.
Right, should have learned but if you can do the doggy paddle or if you can at least float, I think you're going to be all right.
Oh, yeah. By the way, I'm good at floating. You know, I can
Floating,
actually
yes.
look at the skies and float in the water. I think that's good enough. But is Hawaii as hot as we are right now?
Oh, it's not. It's definitely not. Like it is sweltering hot here and Hawaii tends to be warm, but there's that ocean breeze. So I wonder, also in Hawaii, there's kind of like daily rain in tropical countries and tropical places.
Yeah,
Little
showers every single time, here and
Right.
there.
Just like 10 minutes and then it drizzles a bit, gets cool. And even in Hawaii, not a lot of houses have air conditioners. You would
yeah.
just open a door in the back or
Yes.
window and then on the other side and just let the breeze kind of go through your house.
Yeah.
So I wonder if they do the same in the Philippines.
Yes, we actually have that particular system as well. Most of our windows are actually like, something, it can be wood, it can be glass, but you actually like open it. They look like blinders. Our windows look like big blinders. So it's sort of like, it passes all of the wind just passes through, the breeze just passes through. And besides, in the Philippines, I think besides the really hot time in the day, that's about noon to at least 3 in the afternoon, where most kids are being told to sleep, have their siesta.
Oh.
Yeah, have their day naps.
Jealous.
Yeah, but besides that, I think it's not really, if you are under a shade of a tree, I think you're fine. That you feel a lot more better because there's breeze and everything. But here in Korea, can be quite really hot even at night.
Right, very, very
Mhm.
hot. So I'm wondering as well, typically while living here, how do you
Mhm.
stay cool or how do you keep it cool in your family home as well?
Oh, wow. Most of the time, I actually just try to have my fan on the entire day.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is the first year that I'd had a air conditioning at home
Mm-hmm.
here in
Oh, really?
Korea.
The first
The
year?
first year I had an air conditioning at home, and I'm just so glad of it.
How did you do it? How did you do it? That's
Yeah, a
impossible.
lot of people are asking me how I survived. How do you keep cool here in Korea?
Oh, it's really hard. I mean, it's so hot, and we as adults complain a lot, but especially children, right? They're
Yeah.
smaller, they retain heat, so they
Mm-hmm.
complain, Mom, I'm so hot.
Mm-hmm.
What do I do?
Mm-hmm.
So I've just been kind of looking around, on the playground as well,
Yeah.
families and moms.
Uh-huh.
The hand fans, the
Mm-hmm.
portable electric
Oh
fans.
yeah.
Yes, as well as when kids are playing outside, I see the giant parasols.
Oh.
So moms bring giant parasols and, put it over them and their kids
Really?
to make shade on the
Uh-huh.
playground in the sandbox.
Uh-huh.
And have you ever heard of those? I think they're called cool toshi, like
Oh
arm
yeah, the
arm
arm
guards,
guards, arm covers or
arm
something.
covers,
Yeah.
hats, visible layers of sunscreen. But I
Mm-hmm.
think the portable hand fan or even just a traditional,
Mm-hmm.
fan that you wave
Mm-hmm.
is a way a lot of people keep cool. But I'm team air conditioner
Yeah.
myself.
But kids love the water. I just passed by, I think the building right at the back of the building where TBS EFM is. There's
Mhm.
actually a fountain on the ground.
Oh,
So most of
yes.
the kids you will find kids playing in there, right?
Right, exactly. And that's like the number one thing. The number one way that kids seem to love to keep cool is, as they call it, 물놀이
Mm-hmm.
or playing in water, right?
Yeah, so that's probably the reason why 7201 sent us a message. My 8-year-old son just shouted, I am taking swimming lessons right now. He's on his way back home from a swimming pool. He's a beginner, but he thinks he's so good. Well, if you are actually taking swimming lessons and if you can float like what Jem said earlier, that's good.
That's good
You're
enough.
good.
You're
You're good. I
great.
mean, I'm an adult. You're just an 8-year-old. I'm 40 something and I still don't know how to swim. So you're a lot better than I am. 9203 said, I learned swimming at ponds where located on my village by myself. It was keheom or the doggy paddles.
Yes.
But I learned it again when I was 43 years old because there was a swimming pool at my workplace building. So I enjoyed learning it for 8 years. I can swim well now. Okay.
Right.
Good. Congratulations to you. Not good luck. That's good luck to me.
Good luck too.
Congratulations to
Good
you.
luck and yes, good energy.
Uh-huh.
But that's right. Actually, you can learn swimming at any age and a
Yeah,
lot
the
of
a
kids.
pond.
Yeah, in a
Yeah.
pond. And
Uh-huh.
so exactly one of the most popular ways are free public swimming pools and splash grounds.
Uh-huh.
Have you
Yeah.
heard of these?
Yeah, I have heard there, especially the one near Hanga. I think that's the one that's very famous here in Seoul.
Right, right. So I found out a little bit more about that. So it actually opened up for the first time in 3 years. It was shut down due to the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
And there are four locations for the swimming pools. That's Duksum, Gwangnaru, Yeouido, as well as Nanji and Yanghwa. Sorry, 5 locations.
Okay.
And yes, some of them are splash pools, like a fountain you mentioned.
Uh-huh.
Yes. And then in Yeouido, there's actually a pool. They can hold up to 3,500 people. So we're talking, this is very big and wide and spread out. So
Uh-huh.
even if you're a little bit worried about corona, kids can wear masks and play as well.
Okay.
And some of them even have, I heard, like a waterfall, a spiral tunnel.
Ooh.
The Duksum pool has a lazy river. Do you know that kind of thing? You ride
Yeah.
a tube.
Uh-huh. You ride it too, and then you just go
Right.
and flow through it.
You just flow through it. And the really great thing is, yes, that these are in the public areas. So they are free for the most part.
Uh-huh.
A lot of places you can, rent some tubes or whatnot.
Okay.
But
Have you been there? Have you been to
yeah.
any of them?
I saw the Nanji one the other day, actually. We didn't go in, but Yeouido, we've been to Yeouido, and I love that atmosphere because the kids can go and play in the water, and then there's like an ice cream man who comes by, and he's like, ice cream, and then I get to cool down, the kids get to cool down, and even funnier, I've actually seen teenagers
Oh.
and young adults using these swimming pools to film dance videos
Oh, wow.
as well.
Okay.
So it's
well,
also a trendy place for teenagers too.
uh-huh.
So not just for those with young kids, if you're
Okay.
interested.
So the
Yes.
Tuksang pool actually is a very big one. It can
Yes.
actually like, allow 3,500 swimmers into it.
Right,
Uh-huh.
right. And also, you may have noticed about water parks.
Mm-hmm.
They are very popular in Korea. Have you ever been to a water park?
I think there was this one famous water park in Korea
Mm-hmm.
in Yongin,
Mm-hmm.
and I was there with my kids back on my first year in the assembly. That was back in
Mm.
2012, and I never had opportunity to go back because people recognize me.
Oh,
And
really?
you don't actually want people saying, "Hey, can I take a picture with you?" and you look like a
In your
mess.
swimsuit, it's
You
gonna
d-
go
yeah,
viral.
you don't want to do that. So that was the first and last time that I went to a water park with my kids. Sadly. How about
Really?
you?
So actually, yeah, we went just 1 or 2 weeks ago. We went to a
Ooh.
popular one in Hongcheon. And, actually, first I was searching for water parks
Mm-hmm.
because I wasn't sure exactly what that means. So,
Okay.
well, in Korea, a water park is usually, of course, a place with many rides and pools for kids,
Mm-hmm.
but can also be in conjunction with saunas for
Oh
adults. Yeah,
yeah, of
so
course.
it could actually be both, but
Mm-hmm.
I found more than 20 between Seoul, Gyeonggi-do, and especially along the East Sea
Yeah.
as
Uh-huh.
well. Very popular. The one in Hongcheon we went to, they had kind of splash pool for kids, but they
Mm-hmm.
had a lot of scary rides
Ooh,
for adults
scary
too.
rides.
Big tubes and large slides.
Mm-hmm.
And my daughter was like shaking, but looks exciting, but looks frightening, right?
Yeah, these places can be really crowded.
Oh yes, absolutely.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, when you went, did you feel that back in
Oh, there
2012?
were a lot of people in there.
Mm-hmm.
Like every time the waves, I mean, they actually have this signal sound that the waves is coming.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, that the waves are coming, and
Mm-hmm.
so they actually do that signal, and then the waves start to flow.
Ooh,
It starts to wave, so a lot of people are actually shouting and doing a lot of that. But
right.
as I know, even though you are wearing those what do you call that? Those
Life
life
vests.
vests or
Yes.
life jackets, or if you have even if you have tubes, if you don't know how to swim, it's kind of like so scary with them. Sometimes your life jacket goes in as high
Oh, to your
up to
chin.
your chin, and you feel like you're choking. So
Right.
knowing how to swim even in these conditions is really something that can be very
Right.
useful.
And that's something to keep in mind if you do go to these water parks. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of times it is required for both adults and children to wear life vests.
Yeah.
And actually, it's good to check in advance too that
Mm-hmm.
a lot of places require that you wear hats,
Mm-hmm.
or if you've ever heard of aqua shoes, water shoes.
Mm-hmm.
Check if the personal tubes are allowed. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of these places rent this stuff, but usually life vests are kind of the minimum requirement, right?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So you never learned how to swim, so
I never learned how
definitely
to swim.
we'll have you in the vest.
Yeah, and most of as I have said, most of the kids in the Philippines just learned how to swim by on their own, or sometimes the parents just threw them into the water
Go
and
for
okay,
it.
go for it. And then if it feels like if they look like they can't actually make it through, then the parents go in and pick them up out of them. And you said you learned when you were a baby.
Right, right.
Uh-huh.
So as far as I know, it was before I was 1 year old.
Mm-hmm.
And right, as we said, swimming skills are definitely necessary in Hawaii, but there are two popular methods. The one we talked about, they just kind of throw the baby into a
Yeah.
shallow pool
Uh-huh.
and let them do the natural swimming.
I
But
think the thing is
yeah.
I think the idea is that because when they were like inside our bellies, when they were in the womb, they
Mhm.
were actually swimming then as
Right,
well.
right.
So they actually have that skill already.
Right. It's kind
Uh-huh.
of like, I guess it's instinctual.
Mm-hmm.
And they also teach kids by, and I don't know if you've seen this, kind of a tube they put around their neck
Uh-huh.
because babies often cannot support their own
Uh-huh.
heads, right? So they put the tube and then they
Oh
kind of
yeah.
learn to float and then naturally kick their hand
Uh-huh.
or kick their feet and
Uh-huh.
their hands. So,
Yeah.
yes.
I think I saw my niece doing that.
Oh, yes, that kind.
Yeah, I was really. I mean, it looks like she's choking because you
Yes.
have a tube under your neck and
Mhm.
it's so small. I even wonder how they actually got it in there because I never had used that for my kids.
Mhm.
But yeah, I think a lot of people are doing that.
Right. There's
Mm-hmm.
actually swimming kind of cafes here
Mm-hmm.
where they teach babies to swim that way. It is also becoming, I
Oh.
think, trendier and trendier in
Mm-hmm.
Korea as well.
Mm-hmm.
But, regardless, you'll find a lot of crying babies
Of
when they
course.
learn to swim. I think
Mm-hmm.
the first time is very scary. So,
Mm-hmm.
whether they throw them in or they have a tube,
Mm-hmm.
it takes children a lot of time.
And you don't actually want to scare them. Once they get scared, they won't be back in the water and trying to swim back again.
Right,
Uh huh.
trauma. Well, they say, anyway, that experts usually say as early as 6 months is okay to learn swimming, but generally 1 to 4 years old is a good time to start. So if
Oh,
you haven't
okay.
started yet and
Mm-hmm.
you have a baby, you're still good. And even though I don't remember learning swimming, I did try the American method
Mm-hmm.
with my son.
Uh huh.
Just kind of throw him into the water.
Oh my
And
God, we are bad people.
well, he was absolutely terrified.
Mm-hmm.
And I said to him, your name is Kai. Your name means ocean. If you
Okay.
don't know how to swim, how am I going to face the world? This
Oh
is part
yeah.
of your identity. So,
I'm just so glad my mom didn't name me something, related to the
Aqua.
water.
Yeah, your name
Yeah.
would be Aqua.
Oh my God.
Aquamarine, because you're Jasmine, some kind of. However,
Okay.
now he's 2 years old and he loves it. He finally got to the point where he has a tube, he feels comfortable. But I
Oh.
was I was really focused on that too, teaching them
Mm-hmm.
when they're young, so
Mm-hmm.
they don't have to get
Uh-huh.
separate lessons maybe when they're
Yeah, I
older.
do remember there was this one time we had a guest here on Diverse Voices, and she's actually giving lessons to children, actually how to survive in the water, not just swimming lessons, but actually
Hmm.
how to survive in water. So I think that was really so nice, and I think it's necessary for kids to actually,
Right.
learn how to survive when they are in water because we don't actually know what's going to happen, especially when
Right.
we're out there. Now, is there anything else that you would actually want to share with our listeners?
Yeah, sure. Well, we talked about it before about hobbies for kids and what they do, what are good activities. I would say that this all kind of circles back to swimming, right?
Yeah.
Children love swimming lessons as a hobby. And we talked about going to hotels to have
Mm-hmm.
hokans or staycation
Uh-huh.
in order to use the swimming pool.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Uh-huh.
right, even though many older Koreans have also said they cannot swim, it's becoming trendy. Kids nowadays love it. I
Mm-hmm.
actually think, it is a great hobby for kids. In
Mm-hmm.
in Hawaii, it is the national pastime. It is the number one hobby.
Yeah, I
But
guess there's water everywhere.
I do think kids love it. So as long as your child's not afraid of water, or
Mm-hmm.
even if they are, kind of gently push them and
Mm-hmm.
teaching them would really benefit them, I think, in the
Yeah.
future.
And here in Korea, there's a lot of what they call lepotsu. Like, yeah,
Mm.
it's like the sports. What do you call that?
Oh,
Like
leisure
recreation.
sports.
Yeah, recreation sports, live or leisure sports. So
Oh.
a lot of the young people are actually into that as well. So, you can't stop it. Maybe I should try to learn how to swim now.
It's time.
Pidinim, will you take the classes with me?
You got a partner, do
Okay,
it.
at least I have a partner. That goes. Well, anyway, thank you very much for all of that, Jem. I'm going to see you next week.
Yes.
And thank you for sending all of your messages. At least now I am now beginning to think that I should learn how to swim. Thank you for sending all of your messages. Thank you for tuning in to us. This has been Jasmine with our producer Igong Min, our writer Niall, our sound engineer, and our guest Jem here in the studio. Join us once again tomorrow at 4 p.m. We'll leave you with a song. This is Passion Pit with My Brother Taught Me How to Swim. Love you all.